John Force Racing has won 24 world championships across Top Fuel and Funny Car. For more than 5 decades, the organization has been one of the biggest names in professional drag racing. But there is one major NHRA category that has never been part of the JFR story. That simple fact has created an interesting question among NHRA fans. Could John Force Racing ever enter Pro Stock? And has the organization ever seriously considered making that move? The idea sounds exciting. JFR has the experience, facilities, people, Chevrolet connection, and resources of a major racing organization. Yet there is no confirmed announcement that JFR is preparing a Pro Stock program for 2026 or a future season. So, why does the idea keep coming back? The answer starts with JFR's history and the way the organization has built its success. John Force Racing was not built by competing in every category NHRA offers. It was built around Nitro racing. Top Fuel and Funny Car have been the foundation of the organization for decades. The equipment, crew members, engineering knowledge, and championship experience inside JFR have all developed around nitromethane-powered racing. That focus has produced an incredible record. 24 World Championships is a number that separates JFR from almost every other organization in drag racing history. But Pro Stock is a completely different world. Top Fuel and Funny Car depend on massive nitromethane-burning engines. Pro Stock uses naturally aspirated gasoline engines and relies on a different approach to engine development, tuning, and power. So a Pro Stock program would not simply mean putting a different body on a JFR race car. It would mean creating an entirely new part of the organization. John Force Racing entered 2026 after a major organizational rebuild. The team expanded into a 4-car operation with 3 Funny Cars and 1 Top Fuel dragster. The lineup includes Alexis DeJoria in the Bandero Premium Tequila Funny Car, Jack Beckman in the Peak Chevrolet Funny Car, Jordan Vandergriff in the Cornwall Tools Funny Car, and Josh Hart in the Speedmaster Top Fuel dragster. That is already a huge commitment. Each team requires drivers, crew chiefs, mechanics, engineers, equipment, spare parts, and constant preparation. The Force American-made machine shop and wider organization also have to support those programs throughout the season. Adding Pro Stock would create another major workload. It would require new personnel, technical knowledge, equipment, and a separate development program. That does not mean JFR could never do it. It simply means the organization already has plenty to manage. A successful Pro Stock team cannot be created simply by transferring knowledge from a Funny Car operation. Pro Stock requires a different technical approach. Teams spend enormous amounts of time developing engines, cylinder heads, gearing, chassis setup, and data systems. Small gains can make a huge difference when the competition is extremely close. A championship-level program would need experienced Pro Stock crew chiefs and mechanics, a competitive engine program, testing, and people who understand the class at a very deep level. JFR has spent decades developing that expertise in Nitro racing, but there is no public indication that it currently has the same infrastructure for Pro Stock. That is why entering the category would be much more complicated than simply adding another car. There is one major reason the idea continues to sound believable. JFR has a strong Chevrolet presence, while Pro Stock has a long history with Chevrolet-powered teams. The category has also produced legends such as Bob Glidden, Warren Johnson, Greg Anderson, and Erica Enders. So the fan theory is easy to understand. Imagine a John Force Racing Chevrolet Camaro entering Pro Stock. Imagine the Force American-made shop supporting the program. Imagine JFR using its championship experience to challenge the established Pro Stock teams. It would certainly be a major story. But there is a difference between something being possible and something actually being planned. Right now, there is no public evidence that JFR is making that move. If JFR ever entered Pro Stock, the engine program would be one of its first major decisions. The organization would need to decide whether to develop its own engine, work with an established builder, or purchase an existing package. Then it would need the right people. A Pro Stock driver would have to be selected. Experienced crew members would have to be hired or developed. Testing would have to begin, data would have to be collected, and the team would need a complete race operation. Then comes the biggest challenge: competing against teams that already have years of experience. Pro Stock is not a class where a famous organization can simply arrive and expect to win. The JFR name would bring attention, but the car would still have to perform. Cross-category expansion is possible. Elite Motorsports is a good example. Richard Freeman built a successful Pro Stock organization before expanding into Top Fuel. That showed that a professional racing organization can take its resources and experience into another category. But there is an important difference. Elite already had years of Pro Stock experience before entering Top Fuel. JFR would be doing the opposite. It would be entering Pro Stock without an established competitive history in the category. That makes the challenge much bigger. JFR could bring its organizational experience, sponsor relationships, and championship mentality, but it would still need to build or acquire Pro Stock expertise. JFR's greatest strength could also be the biggest reason not to enter Pro Stock. Focus. The organization has spent more than 50 years becoming one of the best nitro operations in the world. It knows how to build funny cars. It knows how to operate top fuel teams. It knows how to handle championship pressure. Why risk distracting that operation? A Pro Stock program would need a strong business and competitive reason to exist. JFR would need the right driver, engine program, technical partners, and enough resources to operate another championship-level team without weakening its current programs. Right now, there is no indication that JFR has decided that the opportunity is worth that investment. There is currently no confirmed JFR announcement saying the organization is entering Pro Stock. There is no known 2026 Pro Stock program, no public indication of a JFR Pro Stock car being developed, and no confirmed evidence that the organization has committed the resources necessary to make the move. So the responsible conclusion is simple. The idea is interesting, but it remains speculation. Fans can imagine it. They can debate it. They can wonder what a JFR Pro Stock Camaro would look like. But that should not be confused with an actual team announcement. Never say never in motorsports. Sponsors change. Manufacturers change direction. Drivers become available. Business opportunities appear. If the right combination of sponsor, driver, manufacturer support, and technical expertise came together, JFR could theoretically build a Pro Stock program. But there would have to be a strong reason. JFR does not need Pro Stock to prove that it is successful. The organization already has 24 championships and a legendary history. If Pro Stock ever happens, it would have to be because JFR genuinely believes the opportunity is worth pursuing. There is something fascinating about Pro Stock being the one major NHRA category missing from the JFR story. The organization has won championships in top fuel and funny car. It has produced legendary drivers and built championship teams. But it has never put a Pro Stock car on the starting line. Maybe that will never change. And perhaps that is perfectly fine. JFR Racing has never needed to compete everywhere to prove its greatness. Its success came from doing one thing exceptionally well. Nobody can say exactly what the future holds. But based on the information currently available, there is no confirmed plan for JFR Racing to enter Pro Stock. The idea exists because JFR is so successful and because Pro Stock is such an important part of NHRA history. Put those facts together, and fans naturally start asking questions. What if JFR entered? What if Chevrolet backed the project? What if the Force American-made shop supported the program? What if one of the biggest organizations in Nitro Racing decided to challenge the Pro Stock establishment? Those questions are fun to imagine. But for now, they remain questions. JFR Racing is focused on its four-car operation, with 3 funny cars and 1 top fuel dragster. The priority appears to be strengthening that program rather than adding an entirely new category. And perhaps that is the smartest decision. For more than 50 years, JFR has built its identity around Nitro. Top Fuel and Funny Car created the championships. They created the legends. They created the JFR Racing name. Pro Stock is the one road the organization has never traveled. Could JFR eventually take that road? Maybe. But until there is an official announcement or credible evidence of a real program, the Pro Stock story should remain what it is. For now, JFR is staying focused on Nitro, and the Pro Stock burnout box remains just across the track. Close enough for fans to imagine, but still a completely different world.